Hello, my name is Olli-Pekka Heinisuo, and I'm the CEO, founder, and CTO of GitHits. So what we do is we work on tools that makes coding agents reason better with real open source code. You might know my work because I have done quite a lot of open source. OpenCV Python, for example, is my work. I maintained it for 5 years and scaled it to 100 million downloads. So let's go to the problem, what we are going to solve. So open source agents start looping because they lack context. Basically, they have access to the local code base and some other context that might be in your local system. But they don't see outside your system unless you install some tools. Maybe the coding agent has like web search tool, but that doesn't solve the problems that it might have. So the real context lives in the code itself, in the open source code. Most of the code that we write, it depends on open source packages, and at the moment the agents cannot see inside those repositories or the packages itself. So maybe some of you have seen this typical loop. The agent starts looping, bad looping, so it doesn't get forward, it doesn't solve the problem that it has in front of it, because it doesn't see the code that it needs. So my demos will show how we provide tools to coding agents so that they can get the context from open source and navigate the code in open source. So these are real agent sessions, but I have like stripped them down and show only the tool calls and the messages that the agent is writing out. So let's go to the first one. This first prompt was that I want to know how message history compaction is implemented in different agent harnesses. And I told the agent to use GitHits. So this example tool that we have built, it goes through all of open source and searches for the problem that the agent has. Then it takes all the context, ranks it, and distills one single example that provides the information that the agent is looking. So if we go to the first step, so it wanted to look how LangChain, AutoChain, or something else, some else framework implements compaction. GitHits returns this example and the sources it used. So we could click here and go to the sources directly. We return the licenses here, and as well, if you want to look at the example in the web app, you can open it here. But this is what the agent sees when it calls the example tool. So in this session, the agents decide to call GitHits 4 times. So it wanted to look how LangChain JS version does the compaction. Then it decided to get the context for like LangChain memory buffer, and finally it decided to study how sliding window message works. And finally, after this, it gave the answer. So these are all sourced from GitHub and from these examples we provided. So there is, in the end, there is summary what kind of compaction methods open source agents use. This is extremely useful during planning phase. This saves a lot of tokens because all the reasoning and searching is outsourced to GitHits, and the agents gets all the context like in really compact format. One example how to do it in real code. And then we are going to, the second demo is going to do a deep dive with other tools we provide. So we are going to select this Letta library and check out how it implements the message history compaction. So we are going to like deep dive into that repository and study how it works. So this starts first by getting the package summary. We have this tool called package summary. We get the versions, or like our index is version aware. We know all the versions of the code. It maps to real Git commit in repositories. Next, after getting this information, it lists files in the repository, and after that, it searches the symbols related to the compaction. Then it lists the files again and decides to read file, readme, so it wants to know what is the project about. Then it reads the compaction selector file. Then it reads the backfill TS file and context tracker file. Then final two searches before it tells how the compaction works in this letter library. So these are not the all tools that we provide. There is a lot of more and more coming, but what we are building here is internet scale index of open source packages mapped to exact version, and that is like we provide the tools that the agents have already for local code, but we provide in the global scale the same tools. So we teach everything there is in open source if it decides to use GitHits. So what GitHits does, it stops the questioning. So no more like outdated training data, gets the code from open source directly. We can trace the dependency internals and all the loops that you saw in the second slide, problem slide, they stop. So currently we have available the example tool and search language tool, but we are like in the coming weeks, we are launching the tools you saw in the second demo, and there will be more upcoming tools as well. Any questions?